prescribed to me, because it can fix one thing and create something else. So that's the same thing with those antidepressants, those medications like that. It may fix one thing, but then all of a sudden it creates something else. And the person said, well, they were on antidepressants, so they was taking medication to keep their mood swings under control. Well, you don't know what else it triggered in the process.
Exactly. And from experience myself, I remember a few years back, when my daughter was like probably 2 years old, and they said, I was always I've learned this because I started reading up on it. That you can go through postpartum depression up until your child is 5 years of age.
Right.
Okay, so I was going through it. But I was going through some kind of depression and stuff. So I'm gonna tell you one thing I learned about when you tell a doctor that you're going through some kind of depression or whatever the case may be, they will give you all types of medications. They love to give medications. Not all medications are good for us.
Nope.
So I remember they gave me one medication. He gave me like I was on like probably 10 different pills,
Right.
10 different medications, and I remember sitting on the side of the bed and I was crying, just crying, and I was constantly crying. And I remember in my mind I was thinking to myself, I just want to jump out this window. That was my thought. So I started talking to my sister, and she told me that she was like, you have to do research on the medications that the doctor give you. Just because it's a doctor does not mean that everything that he give you is right for you or something you should be taking.
Right.
And so when she told me that, that's when I realized that I needed to start taking myself off the medications. So when I went back to the doctor was like, so are you taking this, and then now mind you, he had put me on like 10 different pills. So when I went back to the doctor, I was on 3 pills, and that was my blood pressure medicine, and that was it. Because I had decided myself that I was taking myself off this medication because this medication had me so freaking depressed, and I was ready to jump out the window. My thoughts was to jump out the window. My kids would ask me, Mom, what's wrong? And I couldn't even tell them because I didn't even know.
Yep. And as a parent, now, I've also stopped taking my stuff too. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it don't, like you said, it made me feel worse. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like I need to feel, because sometimes it can numb you up too. It can make you so just deadpan and dry, like you don't know, you don't have a sense of humor. You are not really
you just become lethargic,
a zombie. Yeah. So it's like, but for me, what I do, because my kids know, my older two, they know when something's up with me. I'm just very honest with them. Like, I'm going through something right now. Just give me a day or give me the rest of this day and stuff like that. Versus them think, because they are at the age where they're like, well, what's wrong with her? Like, well, what did we do? Or, you know what I'm saying? They think that you're, and like you said, when you're going through that, you can't explain to that person or whoever it is exactly what it is. Because you already think you sound crazy. You already feel like a little psychopath, and you feel like you don't want to make it worse. And then, like, especially like for me, I'm kind of leery about sharing certain things with doctors sometimes, with the fact that I do have children, because I don't want them to try to take my kids away from me for something that I need to try to work out and fix, or whatever the case may be. I'm not, too, like, there are some cases where those women didn't say a word to anybody and they do harm their children, versus me. I know what I'm going through. I know what's happening. So I talk about it. I let their father know. I let him know. I let the kids know, and just, we've been working through it. I've been doing a lot better, especially just even acknowledging it, just acknowledging
that there's a problem,
right? You know what I'm saying? So, and just not letting certain things get to me, because that adds to what you already going through, and then other people or things add on to that, and nobody care. You know, sometimes people,
and stress too.
Yeah, so I can't. You know, I'm good.
Yeah,
because I had a situation where my doctor told me, when this was my family doctor. He tells me, my primary doctor, he told me, and when I went to the doctor, and he told me, he said, "Are you taking this medicine or this?" I said, "No, I stopped taking it because," I said, "because it started making me feel weird," and I said, "I just didn't feel comfortable taking it." Because at first he says, "Oh, you're doing good. You this came down, and this is great, and that's great." And so I said, so he said, "So you're taking your medicine?" And I said, "No, I stopped taking it after 2 weeks." I said, and this was like a year later. I said, "I stopped taking it after 2 weeks." I said, because it made me feel weird, and I just felt crazy. I said, my whole mood had changed. And he said, "Oh, you just have to get used to it. Your body has to get used to it. It's not used to that. So that's why you need to continue to take it." So he told me, "Well, I'm going to have to double your prescription." And I'm thinking, okay, why would you have to double my prescription when what the results I got from not taking it anymore after taking it for 2 weeks, I stopped taking it. And this was a year later when I came back from my yearly physical. Now you want to tell me that you need to double my medication.
Okay.
I said, that didn't make sense to me. And I'm like, because everything you were saying, I was doing great until I told you I wasn't taking that medicine no more.
Okay.
So now it became offensive to him. So he was like, "I just don't understand. If you're not going to do what I tell you, then I can't be your doctor." And I'm like, I'm like, "Hey, it's not going to benefit me."
We're gonna read some of the comments because we're getting comments over here. You want to read them, Shanita? Or
we got Dante Thompson. That's right. That's why they're called practicing.
Okay, and then she.
Also by Dante Thompson. But so many of us take what they say is wrong without doing our research.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also Dante, they want to get they want to get you used to being numb. That's true.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah. They want us to be like zombies. That's exactly it. Because I remember when the medications that they had gave me, when he gave me all those medications to take and stuff, I was not myself. I felt like I just felt like I was walking on clouds. I felt like I didn't even belong here. I felt like an alien or something. I just did not feel like myself. I didn't feel like my normal self. And then another thing, what I learned also, this is something from my studying and paying attention to stuff, because sometimes we have to pay attention to what we are consuming, because that can trigger it off too. Because I remember one of my friends, I used to, every time he would always notice this, one of my coworkers would notice that he said that, "What did you eat for lunch today?" Because every time I would eat lunch and I come back off of lunch, I'm like in a depressed mood. So he started saying, "Well, you know what? Maybe it's the food you're eating." So I started, instead of having a chicken sandwich or some kind of meat for lunch, I started eating salads at lunchtime. Then I noticed my whole attitude was totally different from when I would eat that meat. And then I thought about something that my mom used to say a long time ago. She used to say that if you ever see an animal when they're getting ready to slaughter it, it is depressed. It goes through depression. And because that animal is going through depression, that is in the meat that you're eating, that you're consuming. And because it's in the meat, that's why you are having those reactions yourself. You're going through the depression. And another thing that I learned also, this young lady, it was a young lady that way back, she wrote this book. And the book was about weave. She was talking about weave and stuff. She said, you have to be careful about the kind of weave that you put in your hair, because she said that some weaves will cause you depression. You're taking on something that somebody else head, the depression they may have been, the state of mind they may have been in.
That spirit.
You're taking it, right? You're taking it into your own mind by you putting it in your head.
That's true.